summer.
The Extraordinary Phenomenon Investigations Council presents Epic Voyages. Come join us as we enter and experience the great mysteries of the world with tonight's host,
Laurel Tague. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Epic Voyagers on InceptionRadioNetwork.com tonight on Monday, August the 13th, my lucky number. We are very lucky tonight because we have Dr. Sam Osmanagich with us, who is the archaeologist, anthropologist who has been digging up the pyramids over in Bosnia since 2005. And he is coming off of his 2012 summer excavation season right now. He's online with us. Sam, welcome.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
I thought I read somewhere that you had 665 volunteers from 52 countries and 6 continents at your dig. Is that right?
Yes, you are right. In the year 2010, we organized first international summer camp for volunteers. And then 500 young people and those who feel young at their hearts came to Little Bosnia to dig from 30 countries. In 2011, last year, we had them from 32 countries. And this year, imagine, from 52 countries and 6 continents. They are coming to this small European country from Brazil, Peru, Colombia, from New Zealand, Australia, Kazakhstan, Jordan, Egypt, Morocco, of course, US, Canada, Mexico, and most of the European countries. This project has such a magic attraction to the people. They want to be part of a history. They want to be part of a digging that's going to change our view of the ancient history.
Well, I am personally just thrilled that you're getting this kind of publicity and this kind of response from the public. Do some of those 600, 700 people include any geologists or anthropologists or anyone like that?
Yes, we do have an expert. Of course, our nonprofit foundation hires archaeologists, geologists, geophysicists. We have them, on our staff. But also we have a number of other experts, anywhere from construction engineers, pedologists, biologists, paleontologists, to the physicists, electrical engineers, people who are experts in satellite, thermal, geophysical analysis. So this has become a huge interdisciplinary scientific project. From 2005 to 2012, we have spent 300,000 hours on archaeological digging, sample testing, radiocarbon dating, and we have concluded that in the central Bosnian town of Visoko, we have a complex of 5 pyramids which we named the Bosnian Pyramids of the Sun, Moon, Dragon, Earth, and Love. And under the Pyramid Valley is an underground labyrinth which runs for tens of miles. It's a prehistorical network of tunnels, intersections, and chambers. And that's exactly what we've been doing. We've been cleaning those tunnels and chambers, and we've been securing them with the wooden support. So it's a lot of labor involved. And fortunately, we have a lot of support from our friends from all over the world who comes for the adventure in Bosnia, and they've been supporting us. And I'm really proud to see how many people want to help excavation.
Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous. I wish I had been able to come over there and work with you because I would have done that. Before we get started tonight, I want to give our listeners some information. Sam has a book that he wrote a couple of years ago called Pyramids Around the World and the Lost Pyramids of Bosnia. And it's available, I think it's available as an ebook now, right, Sam?
Yes.
Okay.
Kindle.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Kindle version is out there. And there is another one, History Behind the Veil, also talking about the Bosnian pyramids, but also about the number of the archaeological sites all over the world. And, we tried to make a combination between the physical science and spiritual science. So this project is really awakening so much in all of us. We have realized in order to understand the pyramids, we have to view them not only through the material, physical realm, but also energy and spiritual. So those two books, they can be found as the Kindle books, as the e-books. They can be purchased also through the Amazon, so anybody is welcome to buy them.
Okay. I'm trying to put those up on the chat room list, and I've somehow garbled taking it out of my Word document, so I'll do that again in a minute. But it's Pyramids Around the World and the Lost Pyramids of Bosnia, and a second book, The History Beyond the Veil. Your website with the information on the pyramids is at www. Now, this is I guess this is a Bosnian word, PYRAMIDASUNCA.BA. Is that correct?
Yes, you got it right. There is an English version also, BosnianPyramidOfTheSun.com. But what you just said, and if you have it in the chat room, that will be just fine. So people will have a link, and there is a website with the 5-6 different languages. They can just choose English, and they'll find all the proper info.
Right. Now, the link I just put in the chat room for our listeners, I have at the end of it /ENG. That's for English. So if you don't necessarily want English, just put the link in without the letters ENG on the end of it, and it'll take you right to the page where you can choose your language. Now, tonight, based on the fact that he has been over there digging away since, I guess, June this summer, we're going to ask Sam to update us on what they have found out so far this year. So are you ready for that, Sam?
Yes, I am. Every summer, for 4 full months, we excavate above the surface on the pyramids, Sun, Moon, Dragon, Earth, on 4 of them this year. But also, during 10 to 11 months every year, we do excavation and cleaning and securing work in the underground labyrinth. So this year, thanks to the help of our volunteers and our experts, in the underground labyrinth, what we've done so far in the last 2.5 months, we have discovered 550 feet of new prehistorical tunnels. Now, in order to understand the importance of this discovery, I will just mention that last year, in a case of the other city of pyramids, which was Teotihuacan in Mexico, approximately 40 feet of underground prehistorical tunnels were discovered, and that was like a worldwide sensation. In our case, just this year, we have discovered 15 times more. So I would say that, Bosnia is the land of miracles. And under the Bosnian Valley of the Pyramids, we have the most extensive underground tunnel network in the world, under any pyramid complex, comparing to the Chinese, Egyptian, Peruvian, or Mexican. So we know that the age of those tunnels is over 12,000 years. But also, we found another mystery. All those tunnels, when we discovered them 7 years ago, they were all filled in with the material and then sealed with the walls, which we call dry walls. So obviously we had two mysteries. The first one, who and when built those tunnels? And the second one, who and why filled them in and closed them? Also this summer, unlike last 5-6 years, we've had so many cases and testimonies from the visitors, and we got almost 25,000 visitors in the tunnels only this year, that they were telling us about the health benefits they were experiencing in the tunnels. Namely, we have noticed that people who have asthma, for example, when they get in the tunnel, they spend 1.5 hours, they can breathe so well. They don't need all these, tablets or any help to breathe anymore. We have noticed that the people with the back pain, with the headaches and so on, once they're out of the tunnels, those pains are gone. So what we've been doing, we've been trying to find a scientific answer, what's happening inside. We have measured the concentration of negative ions in those tunnels. As we know, negative ions help kill viruses and bacteria. And right now, in mine or your office, the concentration of negative ions is very low, approximately 200 negative ions per cubic centimeter. When we measure them at the entrance of Bosnian underground labyrinth, the concentration was 1,000, 5 times more. But when we measure them in the first underground chamber that we discovered a year and a half ago, which is approximately 700 feet from the entrance, the concentration of negative ions was 43,000 negative ions per cubic centimeter, or 200 times more than in average room or office, or 200 times healthier. So obviously, while inside there is a process of, bringing, back certain healthy processes in your body. And the second thing that we've noticed, when we stay on the surface of our planet, we are exposed to a lot of cosmic radiations. Some of them, they just go through our bodies and through our planet with no harm, but some of them are very harmful for us. So our body cells fight those negative radiations. The second thing that we are exposed to are the Hartmann grids, the places where those Hartmann lines, which run east-west and north-south, where they intersect, they are very bad for our bodies. Also, there are Curie's lines and Schneider's grids. There is underground natural radioactivity, also very bad for us. Underground water streams, negative energy for us.
Excuse me,
Yes.
Sam. Back up just a minute. You're talking about lines now, and I'm a little bit lost. I remember seeing something about that on the website, but can you stop for just a minute and explain what you're talking about with these grids and lines?
Yes. In everyday living, we are exposed to so many negative radiations. So what we did, we measured the values for all those radiations in the underground labyrinth. And we concluded that there were no cosmic radiations, no Hartmann grids, no negative underground water energies, no natural radioactivities. Those values are zero, meaning that the underground labyrinth under Bosnian pyramids is the most secure, the safest area on the planet. What's happening now? Our body cells, they don't have that, enemies from the outside, cosmic radiations or some others. So they can start doing their job. And their job is to fix the problems in our bodies. So it seems once you enter the tunnels and spend 1.5 or 2 hours, there is something triggered in our body that starts fixing the biggest problem, that we have. And that's the reason why we've been having so many testimonies about the health benefits of the people who spend some time in those underground tunnels. But this was
Sam,
very breaking news. Yes.
I'm sorry. Do you know if these effects on people's health and ailments, does that continue beyond a day or so, or what is the longevity of that?
Well, the other day I had the case of a man. He was 80 years old. He had asthma. He spent 1.5 hours, and for 25 days now, he's been telling us that he does not have a problem with breathing anymore. So it means that we can count at this moment at least on 1 month or maybe even more. So our next step is to do a medical study. So we're going to be, measuring for example, the blood pressure, the sugar, some other tests with the blood. So we want to see what's happening while we are inside. So we're going to measure before and after. So once we do the study, and it will be done later this summer, we will make it available to the public. But
that's going to be very interesting.
It seems that the ancients knew exactly where to build those tunnels, where to build the pyramids, and they knew that at least as a secondary thing is that it was going to improve their health. Because when you think about it, what is important in our life, it's not really a treasure or things like that. The most important thing in our life is our health and prolonged living. It's very possible that the ancient builders built this underground labyrinth exactly to preserve what was the most valuable then and now.
Wow. And you haven't determined yet why it works that way, how it is that this heavy dose of negative ions is located there in the tunnels, right? You don't know what explains it?
Well, in order to have a high concentration of negative ions, you have to have a water flow. Water streams. What we found out in the tunnels is that some of the sections, they had like channels. So somebody built the channels and they had a slope. When water moves, it releases more negative ions. So these, builders were very smart. They were using all the natural resources, different materials, water, and they were getting, some brilliant results. Mm-hmm. And these are two things. But then to make this thing more complex, in those tunnels, we have discovered a number of megalithic blocks. They go anywhere from several hundred pounds to 18,000 pounds in weight. When we analyzed them at the Institute for the Atomic Physics, they told us that it was a ceramic. If it was ceramic, it means it was artificially made. Somebody made those huge blocks, and they always placed them above the water streams. Sometimes those water streams are, 50 or 100 feet deep. But when the water moves, it generates the energy. We discovered inside one of the megalithic blocks that there was an oval object. We have not opened that megalithic block. We did not want to damage it. But thanks to the georadar instruments, we discovered that exactly in the middle of that block, somebody placed an oval object. As far as the material, most probably it was a quartz crystal. So now look what we have. We have underground water stream, approximately 70 feet below the surface. The energy is released. It's hitting the quartz crystal. It starts working somehow. It is surrounded by ceramic, and ceramic vibrates. And by the vibration, it generates electromagnetic field, which we can measure by our scientific instruments. Using Gauss meters and oscilloscopes, we measured 28 kilohertz frequency around that ceramic block. Now, this frequency is not something readily available in the nature. It has to be a technology to produce this frequency. In other words, underground water flows like ceramic blocks, quartz crystals, somebody put them all together, making some type of the ancient technology, different than ours, but still technology, which is able to produce electromagnetic field. Mm-hmm. And now the fourth thing, to make everything much more complicated, when you have electromagnetic field, and in the tunnels there is a lot of quartz crystals, a lot of smaller and bigger pieces, an electromagnetic field hits quartz crystal, it generates, through the process known as piezoelectrical effect, it generates ultrasound. Now, ultrasound is a vibration, and as we know, we can hear in the range from the 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Everything about 20 kilohertz is called ultrasound. We cannot hear it, but we can detect it by our instruments and we can measure it. So, we measure the frequency of 28 to 33 kilohertz in ultrasound. This is the frequency that animals can hear, humans cannot. However, in the last 7 years, while we've been excavating in the underground labyrinth, we never found an animal bone. Even today, the animals never go inside. So it seems that somebody designed a system which will keep the animals out of the labyrinth, but on the other hand, which will be beneficial for human bodies. So we are finding so many proofs of very, very intelligent, brilliant builders of the underground labyrinth. So that's what we have in this segment this year.
So that's a very complicated jigsaw puzzle there that you're working with.
I can tell you that. That's the reason why we have so many different scientific disciplines. It's not only archaeologists, geologists, geophysicists, but also physicists, electrical engineers, people who know energy phenomena.
I'm going to take a break here, Sam, and remind everybody that we're talking to Sam Osmanagich, who is the, I don't know if it's appropriate to call you the discoverer, but you're certainly, I think of you as the father of these Bosnian pyramids. He's been working with them since 2005. And digging and excavating, and Lord, I have no idea how many miles of excavations you've done by now. The website has some really excellent pictures on it. If you want to go there, it's www.piramidasunca.ba, and Piramidasunca is spelled Piramidasunca. So www.piramidasunca.ba, and select your language, and then go check out the photo gallery with all the pictures of these megalithic stones, and some of the pictures of the channels, and there's actually a blue water lake down under there. Sam, isn't it true that these tunnels that you're excavating are actually made of aggregate? They're like poured in place concrete? They weren't actually dug out of a mountain, is that right?
Well, the tunnels are built in the natural conglomerate.
Okay.
Conglomerate, consists of the stones, pebbles, and rocks. When you have floods, the water brings all this material. Water recedes, material stays there. After thousands and thousands of years, whatever you had below, it becomes more compact. So that's conglomerate. So somebody built those tunnels in conglomerate. But since you mentioned it, and we will continue after the break, what did they use hundreds of thousands of tons of conglomerate for? So the answer, I guess, after the break.
Okay. And I tell you what, instead of taking a break right this second, I want to make sure that everybody has a phone number in case they want to call in. It's 888-919-2355, and that is on InceptionRadioNetwork.com. You're listening to Epic Voyages, and their website is epicvoyages.com. There's a YouTube channel. Also, I'm going to put those links up on the chat room. Sam, I saw something of a new item that that the megalithic stone you were talking about that has that anomaly inside of it that's actually made out of ceramic.
Yes.
I saw something that, if I understood it correctly, the top of that ceramic megalith is shaped and almost like a terrain map. And could you say something about the shape of that?
It's one interesting thing, we have a lot of dowsers, who are looking for the underground waters. And whenever they come to the megaliths, they always indicate, there is an underground water flow here, underground stream, underground river. So obviously they always position those ceramic blocks above the underground waters. And when they are looking for the size, for the width of underground stream, the size of the ceramic block is exactly the same like the width of the underground stream. So that's one thing. So when they shaped those blocks, that was like an information for them. Also, when you look at the surface, like you mentioned, it looks like a relief with the hills and the valleys and the rivers. So outside, it's very important archaeological artifact. But inside, it's even more important because it produces certain energy phenomena. So we are talking about very developed community, who are able to build such an interesting artifacts.
Do you have anywhere on that website that I gave the link to a minute ago, some sort of a schematic that would show the course of these tunnels that you're excavating?
Well, what they need to do when they browse the website, because it contains information from the last 6-7 years, they just, type underground labyrinth or underground tunnels, and they will have plenty of information. Last year, we had the scientific conference with 27 participants, and one of them from Italy, professor, she had one of these maps made which shows exactly in which directions tunnels run and things like that. So there is a lot of information there, but not only about the labyrinth, also about the pyramids in Bosnia, but about the pyramids as a worldwide phenomenon. As you know, what they've been telling us about the ancient history and pyramids is mostly wrong. They are telling us that the pyramids are built only in Egypt and Mexico, but in reality they are built on all 6 continents. You have them in South America, Peru, Bolivia, Brazil. You have them in Central America, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, Belize, Mexico. You have them in Northern America. We have 200 pyramids in Cahokia State National Park. We have them in China, 250. We have them in Sudan, 224. Egypt, of course, 155. We have them on Canary Islands, Mauritius, Australia, southern France, ancient Greeks, of course, in Bosnia. So we need to recognize that the pyramids were phenomenal all over the world. And what they've been telling us, that they are built as tombs for the pharaohs. It's so wrong. In the biggest Egyptian pyramids, no mummies, no pharaohs, no hieroglyphic symbols. So we are coming to the stage when we need to decide, are we going to approach this phenomenon seriously in a scientific way and give the chance to the scientific disciplines, very different scientific disciplines. So I think that the Bosnian Pyramid Project is helping the world to understand, hey, if the pyramids were built all over the planet, where is that knowledge, where the knowledge came from? And how about the communication between the continents? Not 500 years ago with Columbus, but we are talking thousands, if not tens of thousands of years ago. So now we need to change, our view of the history. But with the energy phenomena in Bosnian underground labyrinth, but also on Bosnian pyramids, we have the potential to change the future. A few minutes ago, I did mention conglomerate. When the tunnel builders removed hundreds of thousands of tons of material, pebbles and rocks and sand, what did they do with it? They used every bit of it in order to cover the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun with the concrete blocks. So they used that material to make a concrete. All they needed was a binder. And as a binder, they used clay. They heat up the clay to 400 degrees, and then in a liquid form, the clay acted as a binder for that construction material. So they covered the pyramid in concrete blocks, which, by the way, is much better quality than the concrete that we make today.